भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकय चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Thank you so much for allowing me to read the Mangalacharan prayers.
Hare Krishna,
Charan Prabhu.
Prabhu. Amazing recitation. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Prandal Prabhu, for joining. Thank you, Haribo. I'm very happy
Oh,
to
Hare
see Prandal Prabhu.
Krishna, Pranjal Prabhu. Dandat Pranam Jai Shri Prabhupada. Nice picture of Hare Kirtan.
Pranjal Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances, O Gaurishla Prabhupada.
Today,
So can I
Prabhupada
read?
appeared in the mood of Chaitanya.
Wow. Jai.
Jai.
So can I read, Prabhu? Can I continue or should we wait for someone? Or what do you say? Is that okay if I continue?
Yes, Prabhu. Here is the long word.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, please don't shake, Prabhu. Wow, I am unable to read now.
I give
Oh my
challenge,
God.
Prabhu.
Indriyaschandri man. Indriyasyendriyas arte ragadveshau vyavasthitau tayornavasham agatshet tauhi asya paripantithau pantinau. That is number one worst way of recitation. I apologize for my offenses. Synonyms. Indriyasya of the senses. Indriyasya arte in the sense objects. Raga attachment. Dveshau also in detachment. Vyavasithau put under regulation is. Tayoho of them. Na never. Vasham control. Agatshet one should come. Tau those. He certainly are. Asya his. Paripanthinau stumbling blocks. Translation. Attraction and repulsion for sense objects are felt by embodied things, but one should not fall under the control of the senses and sense objects because they are stumbling blocks on the path of self-realization. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravindra Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai.
Purport. You can scroll, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. I was trying to understand the translation.
Yes, Prabhu. Those who are in Krishna consciousness are naturally reluctant to engage in material sense gratification. But those who are not in such consciousness should follow the rules and regulations of the revealed scriptures. Unrestricted sense enjoyment is the cause of material engagement, but one who follows the rules and regulations of the revealed scriptures does not become entangled by the sense objects. For example, sex enjoyment is a necessity for the conditioned soul, and sex enjoyment is allowed under the license of marriage ties. Sex enjoyment is a necessity for the conditioned soul. Wow. For example, according to scriptural injunctions, one is forbidden to engage in sex relationships with any woman other than one's wife. All other women are to be considered as one's mother. But in spite of such injunctions, a man is still inclined to have sex relationships with other women. These propensities are to be curbed, otherwise, they will be stumbling blocks on the path of self realization. As long as the material body is there, the necessities of the material body are allowed, but under regulation. And yet, we should not rely upon the control of such allowances. One has to follow those rules and regulations unattached to them because practice of sense gratification under regulations may also lead one to go astray, as much as there is always a chance of an accident even on the royal roads.
Oh, this was really nice.
Yeah. One has to follow the rules and regulations unattached to them because practice of sense gratifications under the regulations may also lead one to go astray, as much as there is always a chance of an accident, even on the royal roads. Also, the part where Srila Prabhupada says, sex is a necessity for the conditioned soul. Yes, the above part.
Yes,
Hare Krishna, my Prabhu, thank you very much for joining. Very happy to see you.
Amit Prabhu.
Also, they may be very
Okay.
carefully maintained. No one can guarantee that there will be no danger even on the safest road. The same enjoyment spirit has been current a very long time. Sorry, a very long time. A very long time. Wow. Owing to material association. Therefore, in spite of regulated sense enjoyment, there is every chance of falling down. Therefore, any attachment for regulated sense enjoyment must also be avoided by all means. But action in loving service of Krishna detaches one from all kinds of sensory activities. Therefore, no one should try to be detached from Krishna consciousness at any stage of life. The whole purpose of detachment from all kinds of sense attachment is ultimately to become situated on the platform of Krishna consciousness. The whole purpose of detachment from all kinds of material attachment is ultimately to become situated on the platform of Krishna consciousness. Wow. Hare Krishna, Labhan Prabhu.
Hare
Please accept
Krishna,
my
Bhagavan
protection
Prabhu,
to all
Dandava
Krishna Prabhupada.
Prabhupada.
Hare
Wow,
Krishna
very good.
Prabhu. Namah obeisances of glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Very nice to
Maharaj
see
Ki
you.
Jai.
Praise Gaura Shakti Prabhu.
Hare
Very transcendental
Krishna,
person.
Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances, O Srila Prabhupada.
I just like scroll like this because I was reading. So when I scrolled, then I saw all the nice darshan of the devotees. Sami Prabhu, Bhajari Prabhu, Gaura Shakti Prabhu, Labhan Prabhu. Very nice. Haribol. Yeah.
See, this
So,
was
Sami
that
Prabhu.
part that regulated sense enjoyment must also be avoided by all means. So if one thinks he will get, okay, I will get married, then I have sex with my wife, I'll be safe, go home back to Godhead. Here it is said, regulated sense enjoyment must also be avoided.
And also one more thing. You see, like for example, every Sunday we have a feast in our temple, right? So one is thinking, oh, Sunday has come. Finally, we get a big feast. That is also attachment to sense gratification because he's not approaching prasadam in the consciousness that wow, this has been offered to the Lord. By honoring this, I not only satisfy my bodily demands but also get spiritually purified. No, he thinks, wow, very nice potato, this, that, Atyahara Pro Max, and then sleep.
Yes, Prabhu.
So Karti Prabhu,
Atyahara
every
Prabhu.
Sunday is a big feast, like each and every Sunday,
Yes, Prabhu.
like in
Yeah,
Pondicherry, in Singapore.
yeah, everywhere. Yes.
Oh, so it's like this.
Bhajari
It's like
Prabhu also
Christmas every
cooks
Sunday.
the feast.
Oh, Haribo.
Yeah, he's one of the main cooks in the temple also. Right, so we can continue reading Sami Prabhu. Yeah.
Did you? Yeah.
Yes, text 35, right? Yeah. Yeah, right. Shreyan swadharma vigunaha paradharmat siv anushthithat swadharme nidhanam shreyaha arodharmo bhayavaha.
What does
Bhayavaha.
what does
Yes.
this mean?
Synonyms. You
What
know
is
the verse I'm thinking about?
what
Samay
is
pumsham paro dharmo yato bhakti radokshate. The same verse, right?
yes?
Paro dharmo yato
What was
bhakti radokshate.
paradharma? I completely forgot actually. That's why I'm asking.
Para means superior, dharmat means
okay, yes.
occupational duty. That's why I quoted right 126. Savai pumsho paro dharmo eto bhakti radokshachya hetu kya pratihataya atma suprasidati.
But
Remember that verse?
what does swa mean? Is it
You tell me. You are the Sanskrit professor.
no, Prabhu? We had the Lebahang scientist, Prabhu.
Oh.
Okay,
Very
let's
happy to see Rahul Prabhu here. Thank you so much, Rahul Prabhu, for
Rahul
joining.
Prabhu, Dandar
Haribol.
Prabhupada.
Prabhu.
Once swadharma, once prescribed duties. But what is swa?
I mean, all right. I will read. Maybe you can ask Labahang Prabhu because he is not Labahang Prabhu. I mean, Luvesh Prabhu. He is having some knowledge in Sanskrit. Or
Yes.
you can ask Siddharth Prabhu also. He can also help.
Yes.
Right. Shreyan, far better. Swadharmaha, once prescribed duties. Vigunaha, even faulty. Paradharmat, from duties mentioned for others. Well, my speculation was wrong, so just ignore my translation of paradharmata. Right. For duties mentioned for others. Swanushtitahat, tithat, then perfectly done. Swadharme, in one's prescribed duties. Nidhanam, destruction. Shreyaha, better. Paradharmaha, duties prescribed for others. Bhaya avaha, dangerous. Translation: it is far better to discharge one's prescribed duties, even though they might be faulty, than others' duties. Destruction in the course of performing one's own duty is better than engaging in others' duties. For to follow another path is dangerous. Oh, I mean, so Gaurashakti Prabhu, if you want, you can read now also because yeah, I think you have a time constraint, right? No problem, Prabhu. You can continue now also.
No,
I can continue after you.
you can read. I can read next to you. I just want to,
Okay.
you know,
Yes, Prabhu. No
read
problem. Sure.
just one verse, before I go because
Mm.
I just came to listen. It's all right, but I can read a little also. So
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, sure.
proceed.
Yeah, I'll just finish this
Yeah,
one verse and then after that you can continue. No problem. No, thank you
thank
very
you,
much,
thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
No problem, Chai.
So, purport, Prabhu, you can scroll down. I'll make it a little bit quick. One should therefore discharge his prescribed duties in full Krishna consciousness rather than those prescribed for others. Prescribed duties complement one's psychophysical condition. Prescribed duties complement one's psychophysical condition. Under the spell of the modes of material nature, spiritual sorry, prescribed duties complement one's psychophysical condition. Under the spell of the modes of material nature, spiritual duties are as ordered by the spiritual master for the transcendental service of Krishna. But both materially or spiritually, one should stick to his prescribed duties even up to death, rather than imitate another's prescribed duties. Duties on the spiritual platform and duties on the material platform may be different, but the principle of following the authorized direction is always good for the performer. When one is under the spell of the modes of material nature, one should follow the prescribed rules for particular situations and not imitate others. For example, a Brahmana who is in the mode of goodness is non-violent, whereas a Kshatriya who is in the mode of passion is allowed to be violent. As such, for a Kshatriya, it is better to be vanquished following the rules of violence than to imitate a Brahmana who follows the principle of non-violence. Everyone has to cleanse his heart by a gradual process, not abruptly. However, when one transcends the modes of material nature and is fully situated in Krishna consciousness, he can perform anything and everything under the direction of a bona fide spiritual master. In that complete stage of Krishna consciousness, a Kshatriya may act as a Brahmana or a Brahmana may act as a Kshatriya. In the transcendental stage, the distinction of the material world does not apply. For example, Vishwamitra was originally a Kshatriya, but later on he acted as a Brahmana, whereas Parashuram was a Brahmana, but later on he acted as a Kshatriya. Being transcendentally situated, they could do so. But as long as thank you, sir. I was just giving my attendance, right? Being transcendently situated, they could do so. But as long as one is on the material platform, he must perform his duties according to the modes of material nature. At the same time, he must have a full sense of Krishna consciousness. Yes, Prabhu. I mean, you can continue, Gaura Shakti Prabhu, you can continue, Prabhu. Haribo.
Thank you very much, dear Prabhu. Please. Thank you very much. Very nice reading. Oh,
Dibo.
Karti Prabhu, you can sing for us.
Arjunam vacham atakena prayuktoyam papam chalati purushaham anichannapi varneyam baladivani yojitaham. Arjuna vacham. Arjuna said, Ata, hereafter, kena, by what? Prayuktaha, impelled. Ayam, one, papam, sin, chalati, hacks, purushaha, a man, anichan, without desiring, happy, although, varshneya, O descendant of Vishnu, Balat, by force, Iva, as if Niyojita engage. Translation. Arjuna said, O descendant of Vishnu, by what is one impelled to sinful acts, even unwillingly and as if engaged by force? Purport. A living entity as part and parcel of Supreme is originally spiritual, pure, and free from all material contamination. Therefore, by nature, he is not subjected to the sins of the material world. But when he is in contact with the material nature, he acts in many sinful ways without hesitation, and sometimes even against his will. As such, Arjuna's question to Krishna is very sanguine as to perverted nature of living. Yeah, I don't know. This mean what? Okay, yes, thank you. As to perverted nature of the living entities, although the living entity sometimes does not want to act in sin, is still forced to act. Sinful actions are not, however, impelled by the supersoul within, but are due to another cause, as the Lord explained in the next verse.
So who remembers what is this? By what is one impelled to sinful acts? Who could answer?
Lust.
Oh,
Yeah.
quickly.
Yes.
I know this because I'm very lusty.
No
That's why I know this
problem.
was
That's capped.
the fact.
Oh, no, Maharaj. Maharaj Karti Prabhu ki jai.
This is humbleness, Prabhu.
Shri Bhagavan Vacham Kamaisha Kludaisha Lajoguna Samudbhavaham Mahashano Mahapapmam Vidyanam Hiha Vailinam. Shri Bhagavan Vacham, the personality of Godhead said, Kamaha, lust, Ishaha, all these, Krodha, wrath, Isaha, all these, Rajoguna, the mode of passion, Samudbhavaham, born of, Mahashanaha, all devouring, Mahapapma, greatly sinful, Vidhi, now, Enam, this, Iha, in the material world, Vailinam, greatest enemy. Translation. The Blessed Lord said, It is lust only, Arjuna, which is born of contact with the material modes of passion and later transformed into wrath, and which is the all-devouring, sinful enemy of this world.
So if lust comes from the contact with mode of passion, what is from mode of ignorance?
Sleep.
The next, when you become angry, you are in the mode of ignorance, hungry, and then
Sleep
just next to lust.
also.
Yeah.
Can see.
Purport. When a living entity comes in contact with the material creation, his eternal love for Krishna is transformed into lust in association with the mode of passion. Or in other words, the sense of love of God becomes transformed into lust as milk in contact with sour tamarind is transformed into yogurt. Then again, when lust is unsatisfied, it turns into wrath. Wrath is transformed into illusion, and illusion continues the material existence. Therefore, lust is the greatest enemy of the living entity, and it is lust only which induces the pure living entity to remain entangled in the material world. Wrath is the manifestation of the mode of ignorance. These modes exhibit themselves as wrath and others corollaries. If, therefore, the mode of passion, instead of being degraded into the mode of ignorance, are elevated to the mode of goodness by the prescribed method of living and acting, then one can be saved from the degradation of wrath by spiritual attachment.
So mode of passion is like a split. It's like splitting
Yeah.
point between ignorance and goodness.
But Srila Prabhupada said it is better to remain, if you are not in the mode of, goodness, it is better to be in the mode of passion.
Yes, Prabhu.
Because the mode of ignorance, you are lethargic, you don't do anything, and you
And you
don't,
cannot go
even
lower.
materially. Yeah. Uh, so it is better if you are not in the mode of goodness to be in mode of passion, at least, even materially. It can be better to reach the good mode of goodness then,
Yes, Prabhu.
So the lust can also be used because everything can be used according to Srila Rupa Goswami in
Yes,
his,
Prabhu. And what was
yeah,
said in the
everything
beginning
can be used.
here, see,
Mm.
the lust is actually in its pure form, it is eternal love for
Mm-hmm.
Krishna. But when it's
Yeah, yes,
transformed, then it becomes lust, like the yogurt example.
yes. Just when we will spiritualize completely our lust, we will be able to understand the Rasa Lila of the Lord, actually. So, but we will be pure devotee by then. But this is the concept.
Yes, Prabhu.
This is just true, the idea of it. So thank you very much. There is more.
Yes, Prabhu.
It's okay. Okay. So thank you very much. I have to go. So Vancha Kalpatarubhyacha Kripasindubhyevacha Pachitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Antakochi Vaishnavlindi Ki Jai Hari Hari Bol.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Prabhus, for your precious
Thank you so
association.
much, Prabhu, for joining.
Very happy,
Haribo.
very happy to
Thank
join
you
you
for
and to
joining,
read with
Prabhu.
you. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Yeah.
Thank you, Haribo. All praise to you. So
Did we
from where
finish?
Prabhu left off, I can continue. If it's okay.
Which part did it was? Maybe here? I don't remember.
Let's see. Maybe all the devices can switch on the camera. We'll see all your associations. I mean,
Was
your
Hanuman
nice
mentioned?
transcendental darshan.
Did Prabhu mention Hanuman? I didn't.
No.
Hanuman. Yes.
No. He did not mention. Your screen keeps loading for me. I don't know why I'm not able to see your screen. I think it's my fault, huh? My bad. Oh, yeah, can.
Okay.
Therefore, lust is transformed into love for the Supreme, or transformed into Krishna consciousness, or in other words, desiring everything for Krishna, then both lust and wrath can be spiritualized. Hanuman, the greatest servitor of Lord Ram, engaged his wrath upon his for the satisfied Lord. Lust and wrath, they are like Prabhu, you can scroll. Prabhu.
But you're slow, Prabhu.
Sorry, when they're employed. All right, I'll just. Lust and employed in Krishna consciousness become our friends instead of our enemies. So yeah, like if you're angry, be angry at the envious persons who are against devotees and use your lust to get good progeny, spiritualize it.
Oh, and
Text number 38.
because the business thing is in the mode of passion, making sales and all this. So you can use the lust and passion in that also, if one wants something like that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you can do if you want to sing or you want to make a business or you want to take care of animals or whatever you want. All of these are in the material world by lusty desire, right? The tendency to enjoy. Yeah, if you want to use it in Krishna's service, then it becomes affection.
Did you hear Tadvait Prabhu's lecture today?
No, Prabhu, no. What did
So
Prabhu
in,
say?
in that he was saying that this book selling is like our family business. He said one who is in Krishna consciousness, his family business is the book selling, and if he's wants a business, he can do this like a family business. He was saying, and there was other points like this. It was a very nice lecture. You should watch it.
Yes, Prabhu, sure. All right. धूमेन आविर्यते वान्हिर् यथा द्राशो मलेन च यथा लब लब लबेन वर्तोऽभ्यर्भस् तथा तेनिदम् avartam. Wow, I don't want to hear this. Prabhu, please go far. Please go faster the synonyms. I'm feeling embarrassed. Dhumena by smoke. Avaryate covered. Vanhi fire. Yatha just as. Adrashaha mirror. Malena by dust. Cha also. Yatha just as. Albena by the womb. Avartaha is covered. Garbhaha embryo. Tatha so. Thena by that lust. Idam this. Avirtam is covered. Translation. As a fire is covered, as a mirror is covered by dust, or as the embryo is covered by the womb, similarly, a living entity is covered by different degrees of this lust. Wow. Purport. There are 3 degrees of covering of the living entity by which his pure consciousness is obscured. The covering is but lust under different manifestations like smoke in the fire, dust on the mirror, and womb about the embryo. When lust is compared to smoke, it is understood that the fire of the living spark can be a little perceived. Hmm. In other words, when the living entity exhibits his Krishna consciousness slightly, he may be likened to the fire covered by smoke. Although fire is necessary when there is smoke, there is no overt manifestations of fire in the early stage. Hmm. This stage is like the beginning of Krishna consciousness. The dust on the mirror refers to a cleansing process of the mirror of the mind by so many spiritual methods. The best is to chant the holy names of the Lord. The embryo covered by the womb is an analogy illustrating a helpless position, for the child in the womb is so helpless that he cannot even move. This stage of the living condition can be compared to that of the trees. The trees are also living entities, but they have been put in such a condition of life by such a great exhibition of lust that they are almost void of all consciousness. Wow. The covered mirror is compared to the birds and beasts. The smoke covered by fire is compared to the human being. The form of a human being, the living entity may revive a little Krishna consciousness. And if it makes further development, the fire of spiritual life can be kindled in the human form of life. By careful handling of the smoke and the fire can be made to blaze. Therefore, the human form of life is a chance for the living entity to escape the entanglement of material existence. In the human form of life, one can conquer the enemy lust by cultivation of Krishna consciousness under able guidance. See, in the human form of life, one can conquer the enemy lust by cultivation of Krishna consciousness under able guidance. So there are so many people who want to actually be independent and try to practice Krishna consciousness. But here Prabhupada very clearly mentions under able guidance, because the conditioned soul always needs help to come out of his conditioning. He cannot revive his own Krishna consciousness by his own effort. So for all those saying, oh, no, yeah, I'll just have Prabhupada books and then I'll do my own thing. And the whole point is that Prabhupada set up this whole Shiksha Guru system, temple president, GBC system, so the conditioned souls can take advantage. Otherwise Prabhupada could have said, just distribute my books and that's it, you all read, that's it. No need to work under any authority, directly work under me. But no, Prabhupada said, yeah, reach the temple president, then GBC, then yeah, come Prabhupada, like that, if you cannot rectify your doubts or whatever. So this whole system is a system of able guidance so that the conditioned living entities can actually come out of their conditioning. That's why under able guidance. So there's no question of being independent or thinking independently or trying to worship independently. That is actually, once again, the independent mindset, right? Conditioning.
Yes, Prabhu.
So, yeah, that. So text 39. I mean, any like to read, or can I continue maybe a few more verses? Sami Prabhu? Done. Yeah. So, Sami Prabhu, what did you say?
Yes, Prabhu, you can read. And yes, Prabhu.
All right, I'll read. So you can just, yeah. आवर्तं ज्ञानमेतान ज्ञानिनो नित्यवैरिणां कामरूपेण कौन्तेय दुष्पूर्थे अनलेन च वाह
Haribol.
दुष्पूर्तेनानलेन च. My tongue is twisting upright, left, down.
Yes, Prabhu. This part was funny. You said etana. You said with a.
It's an
Yes, Prabhu. It's Finnish word. That's why it was.
yeah. Oh my God.
It means
Oh,
snail.
Prabhu, this is hard, huh?
Yes, Prabhu.
Oh, is it? Yes, Prabhu. Synonyms. You can zoom out a little bit. Avartam, covered. Jnanam, pure consciousness. Etana, by this. Jnaninaha, of the knower. Nitya Vairana, eternal enemy. Kama Rupena, in the form of lust. Kaunteya, O son of Kunti. Dushpurena, never to be satisfied. Analena, by the fire. Cha, also. Translation. Thus, a man's pure consciousness is covered by his eternal enemy in the form of lust, which is never satisfied and which burns like fire. Purport.
See, it's the eternal enemy.
Yeah. Eternal enemy in the form of lust, which is never satisfied and which burns like fire. It will never be satisfied by whatever you do, whatever endeavor. Purport. It is said in the Manusmriti that lust cannot be satisfied by any amount of sense enjoyment, just as fire is never extinguished by a constant supply of fuel. In the material world, the center of all activities is sex, and thus this material world is called Maithunya Agara, or the shackles of sex life. In the material world, the center of all activities is sex, yes. In the ordinary prison house, criminals are kept within bars. Similarly, criminals who are disobedient to the laws of God are shackled by sex life. Advancement of material civilization on the basis of sense gratification means increasing the duration of the material existence of a living entity. Therefore, this lust is a symbol of ignorance by which the living entity is kept within material world. While one enjoys sense gratification, it may be that there is some feeling of happiness, but actually that so-called feeling of happiness is the ultimate enemy of the sense enjoyer. Oh, wow. While one enjoys sense gratification, it may be that there is some feeling of happiness, but actually that so-called feeling of happiness is the ultimate enemy of the sense enjoyer. Very deep, huh? All right, Prabhu. Actually, I have to attend a call now from a devotee. He's been calling me for some time, but I have not picked his call up. So I think it'll be better for me to. So I think it'll be better for me to call him now. So please forgive me for my offenses. Thank you so much, Sammy Pro, for letting me read.
Thank you.
Panchakalparupishta Kripanasundabhayavacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Anantakoti Vaishnavrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Paramanandi Hari. Thank you once again, dear devotees. Hari Bol. Hope to see you all tomorrow and get your merciful associations. Hare Krishna. Jai Prabhupada.
Jai.
Oh, Vivek Prabhupada has also joined. Hari Bol. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Vivek Prabhu, Dandat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. While one enjoys feeling of happiness is the ultimate enemy of the sense enjoyer. Okay, text number 40. We read one more, then we can go to six Astakam prayers. Or maybe two, because Vivek Prabhu joined, he can read also. Who wants to read this one? Amit Prabhu, Lebang Prabhu, Rahul Prabhu, or Vivek Prabhu? Yes, Prabhu, but your voice is cutting, so can...
Now is it okay?
Yeah, now it's okay.
Okay. Indriyani mano buddhir asyaadhishthānam uchyate itair vimuhaya hayatya esha jnanam avritya dehina. Synonyms: Indriyani, the senses; Manaha, the mind; Buddhi, the intelligence; Asya, of the lust; Adhisthana, sitting place; Uchyate, called; Etya, by all these; Vimohayati, bewilders; Esha, of this; Jnanam, knowledge; Avritya, covering; Dehinam, the embodied. The senses, the mind, and the intelligence are the sitting places of this lust, which reveals the real knowledge of the living entity and bewilders him. Purport: the enemy has captured different strategic positions in the body of the conditioned souls, and therefore Lord Krishna is giving hints of those places so that one who wants to conquer the enemy may know where he can be found. Mind is the center of all the activities of the senses, and thus the mind is the reservoir of all ideas of sense gratification, and and as a result, the mind and the senses become the repositories of lust. Next, the department intelligence department becomes the capital of such lustful propensities. Intelligence is the immediate next door neighbor of the spirit soul. Lusty intelligence influences the spirit soul to acquire the false ego and identify itself with matter, and thus with the mind and senses. The spirit soul becomes addicted to enjoying the material senses and mistakes this as true happiness. This false identification of spirit soul is very nicely explained in the Srimad Bhagavad. Yasyatma buddhi gunate dhatuke swadhi kaladradeshu bhauma idyati यत्तीर्थ बुद्धि सलिते न करहि जनेष्व अभिज्ञेषु स एव गोखर. A human being who identifies this body made of three elements with his self, who considers the byproducts of the body to be his kinsmen, who considers the land of birth as the worshipable, and who goes to the place of pilgrimage simply to take a bath rather than meet men of transcendental knowledge there, is to be considered as an ass or a cow.
Okay, Haribol. Thank you so much, Prabhu. I think we need to go to the six Astakam prayers before it's 10 p.m. चेतो दर्पणमार्जनं भवमहादावाग्निर्वापनं श्रेयः कैरवचन्द्रिकावितरणं विद्यावादुजीवनम् आनन्दाम्बुधिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतस्वादनं सर्वात्मा स्नपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनम्
Namna makari bahuda nija sarva shaktis tatrarpitanyamita smaranena kalaha eta trishi tava kripan bhagavan mamapi durdaiva me tritam ihajinanuragraha.
तृणादपि सुनिचैन तरोरपि सहिष्णुना अमानीना मानदेन कीर्तनीया सदा हरिः
न जनं न धनं न सुन्दरीं कवितां वा जगदीशकामये मनीश्वरे भगवद्भक्तिरेत्युक्त्यै
ऐनन्द
Ainam, please go on.
तनकिरं पतितं मां विषमे भवां बुद्धौ कृपया तव पादपङ्कजस्थित धूलिसदृशं विचिन्तय
नयनं गलदश्रुधारया वदनं गद्गदहृदया गिरा पुलकैर्निशितं वपुः कदा तव नाम ग्रहेण भविष्यति
Yugaitam nimeshena chakshusha pravishaitam shunyaitam jagat sarvam govinda virahe name.
आश्लिष्य वा पादरतं पिनष्टुमा मदर्शनर्मारं महतं करोतु वा यथा तथा वा विदधातु कुटुमुत्पारणतस्य
Glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large. Because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon, it is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious.
Oh my Lord,
Oh,
your holy. Okay, read, Prabhu, sorry.
no, you can read, Prabhu. Read.
Thank you, Prabhu. Oh my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. Oh my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names. But I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them.
One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respects to others in such a state of mind. One can chant the holy names of the Lord constantly.
O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth.
O son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet.
Oh my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? Oh Govinda,
O
feeling your
Govinda,
separation. Carry on, Prabhu.
sorry. O Govinda, feeling your separations, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my ears like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence.
I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord unconditionally.
Haribol, Sri Siksastakam Ki Jai.
Jai.
Why? To bless him, the devotees have dedicated their life for propagating the holy name of the Lord. To consider the name. Okay, Prabhu, you can go on.
To consider the names of the demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal or independent of the name of the Lord Vishnu.
To disobey the orders of the spiritual master, thinking him as an ordinary person.
To blaspheme the Vedic scriptures or scriptures in pursuance to the Vedic version. To consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be an imagination.
To give some interpretation to the holy name of the Lord.
To commit sinful activities on the strength of holy.
To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as spiritual activities, Karma Kanda.
To
instruct
instruct
the
the faithless person about the glories of the holy name.
To not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success. Krishna Prema.
Krishna Prema.
Let us offer our humble obeisances to all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord who are just like desire trees, who can fulfill all desires and are full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. Vanchakal Patarupyascha Bhakti Siddhanta Prabhu. Siddharth Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Sorry, I had to join
Prabhu,
late.
are you the one doing art on the wall?
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhu.
Prabhu. That's
Thank
me.
you for joining.
Oh, Prabhu, yes.